Hello everyone, welcome. I hope you had a great day and you survived the Facebook outage. So I'm here to help you guys get online, get found and look funking great. So send me your questions and I'll answer them in the coming weeks. You can add them in the comments here below or you can DM me via RetroHex's Facebook page. So tonight we're answering the question, how do I optimize images for my website? As we all know, images are so important on our websites. However, because they are often very large to look very large on your website because you want them to look good, this means that our websites take forever to load. So I'm going to share 3 things you can do to your images before uploading them to your website. And you can do this no matter what your website is built in. By the way, let me know what website platform you guys use to build your website. Is it WordPress? Is it Shopify? Is it Wix? Is it Squarespace? If it's none of those, just put in the comments what website platform you guys use to build your website. So no matter what your website is built in, these 3 steps will help you optimize your images. So step number 1 to optimizing your images for your website is to make sure your images are large enough or small enough for the screen they're going to be viewed on. And since we're talking optimizing for websites, generally screens are from 1200 to 1900 pixels wide. So let me give you an example. If you had an image that's 400 pixel wide, so not very large, and you add it to your website, it's going to have to stretch a lot to fit the screen if you're using it as a full width screen. So it's going to look very pixelated trying to fill in that space. On the flip side, if you try and load an image that is 4,000 pixels wide, right? So that's like 5 times the size of a screen or 4 times the size of a screen. It's going to take so long to load and you probably won't even be able to load it up onto your website. So making sure you resize your images to fit the space it's going to fill on the screen is the number 1 thing that you need to do before you upload your images. So there's lots of great tools that you can use to resize images. I use Photoshop. If you don't have Photoshop, there's Canva, there's GIMP, and there's Paint. And there's plenty of other resizing platforms to make sure you have the right size image for your website. Step number 2 for optimizing images is you need to make sure that after you've resized your image that you save them in the right format. So there are 2 formats that are considered website worthy. The first one is JPEG and the second one is PNG. So JPEG is great for photos with lots of detail and colors. They're generally smaller files, so they're much faster to load than PNG files. PNG files are great for more graphical files, such as logos or anything with a transparent background. PNGs are larger files and they take longer to load than JPEG. So remember to only use these when you have to. So first step is to make sure the image is the right size for the space. So if it's too large, make sure you resize it down. If it's too small, then you're going to have to get another image because you won't be able to expand that. So you need to make sure that you have large images and then you can resize them to fit into your screen. The second step is to make sure you save those images in the right format. So JPEGs are great for photos and PNGs are great for logos or anything with a transparent background. Step number 3 is once you have resized your image and you've made it into the right format, then you need to compress the file. And what do I mean by compress? I don't mean decrease the size. So I don't mean decreasing the size or the pixels. It basically means to remove any unnecessary data from the image while still keeping the quality of the image. So how do you compress an image? When you save a file in Photoshop, you can compress it there. But if you don't have Photoshop, you can use a really cool free online tool called Optimizilla. So there's a link in my blog. If you go through, there's a link in the description that will link through to my blog, and you can find that link to Optimizilla. And basically when you get in there, you can simply upload your image, and then you can choose how much you want to compress it, and then you download it, and it's really great. So I went in and tried it. I got an image that was originally 200 kilobytes. So that's quite a normal size for an image. But then after I compressed it, it went down to 60 kilobytes. So as I said, this really great tool, Optimizilla, the link is in the description of my blog post. You simply just add your image, and then you choose how much you want to compress it, and then you just download it. Yeah, so as I said, I went in and I compressed an image that was 200 kilobytes down to 60 kilobytes without losing any quality. So that's a huge reduction. The benefit to compressing a file is that it doesn't lose quality. It keeps the image the same size. It just gets rid of all the data from the image. And then it means that when you upload the image to your website, it's going to be a smaller file to upload. So it's going to be quicker for your website. So the the things you need to do before uploading image to your website, make sure it's the right size for where it's going. So remember, if your image is too small, you probably don't want to use it because it's going to have to stretch and it will be pixelated and it won't be able to fill it out. If it's too large, then it's going to have to shrink down and it's going to take forever to load that amount of data. So you want to make sure the image is the right size for the screen. So resize image before uploading it. Make sure you've saved it in the right format. So JPEG for photos, or PNG if you're uploading a logo or something with a transparent background. And step 3 is to make sure you compress it. So which is getting rid of all the unnecessary data so that it will load faster. So if you can do all these 3 things to your images before you upload them to the website, your visitors, and your search engines will love you for it. Thanks for joining me, guys. Pop any questions down below and I'll be answering them in the coming weeks, and I'll see you next time.